work in?
So my name is Mark Barnett. I am a tech arc delivery analyst. I work in a DevOps department called DCC, and I currently work for Accenture.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the department that you work in?
So my department is classed as advanced architecture, so it's quite a key component of Accenture. And we're a shared service, so other projects will hire us in to come and basically do the advanced DevOps side of it. So DevOps is essentially development operations together, and there's a lot of automation in there, so taking out the human element, which could possibly be failure. It's really, really fun to work in.
So
it's quite cutting edge.
Okay, how did you get to that position today?
So it's a bit of a strange one. So I did a placement with Accenture, and the guy that interviewed me into Accenture when I did my placement, I saw him when I came back as a graduate on the very first night, and he said, "Why don't you come into this department?" And I said, "Why not? Yeah, it sounds really, really good." And that's what happened.
So that connection was really good for you when you returned.
Yeah, really, really good connection. Yeah.
Wow, it really shows you that it's important to build a network and to make sure that you remember people and where you met them, why. So you mentioned that you went to university.
Yes.
I'm assuming you went to college before then, studied A-levels?
Yeah, I was in sixth form, yeah.
Okay.
A-levels,
Which A-levels did you study?
I studied ICT, economics, history and maths.
And would you say back then you knew what your passion was? And
Definitely, it's definitely technology back then. Wasn't sure whereabouts in technology because in ICT I didn't really do any programming or design work. So it was more university when I could narrow down exactly what I wanted to go into.
Okay. Did you do any work experience or apprenticeships that helped you?
So I did do some work experience. I went to a software house. I actually worked into the hardware department, and that was going around different clients and basically fixing their systems. But other than that, before uni, nothing really.
And how did your university experience help you prepare for your working career?
Massively. So it gave me all my technical know-how. I hadn't touched programming, anything technical really beforehand. So it was prepared me very, very well, especially the placement that I did in my third year. That was probably the best decision I've made so far. Purely because when I came back after that placement in my final year, I was ready to work 8-hour days rather than getting up a bit late doing some work.
Mm-hmm. So the placement really gave you the insight into what working life is actually like.
And definitely what I wanted to go into as well. So I knew then that this was where I wanted to go back into. I wanted to come back to Accenture. I knew where I wanted to be. Yeah.
Okay. So your placement was with Accenture?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Sorry, yeah.
So you got the technical skills at university, but what would you say that you gained from your placement at Accenture other than knowing that's what you want to do? What sort of skills?
I'd definitely say project management's definitely a big one, and just time management with myself. There's a lot of key tasks that had to be performed by a certain date, by a certain time, and of course at the start you didn't quite reach them, but by the end of the year I was matching them all. And when I went back to university, I was like having a dissertation, 30,000 words. I finished that early. If I hadn't done the placement, I think I would have been an hour before typing away.
Mm-hmm. And just to go back to an earlier point that you made, we'll start with this. What is a typical day like for you?
A typical day so working as a team. So we work in something called sprints, which is basically a week assigned of bits of work that we want to complete by the end of the week. And as a team, we'll work together to get to this end point. So a typical day for me is a certain task that's been assigned to me. I'll try to complete it, help out other people, other guys, if there's newer members of the team, get them up and running. But it's usually just trying to finish my tasks, which all together have an end goal with the team, which is something, a bigger picture of it.
So you mentioned before that you like where you work, at the industry that you work in, because it's very cutting edge.
Yep.
You get to work with a lot of the newest of the new in terms of technology. How do you stay up to date in terms of current trends?
It's quite difficult. So especially in my department, the new trends are every month, every week. So you could be on one project for a few weeks, few months. And as soon as you come off that project, you've got to go and learn something completely new, which is really, really good. But keeping up to date, there's quite a good community in Accenture, so people talk about what's going on. They'll do blogs, they'll have video casts, just even if it's a call at lunch, just to update people on what they're working on and where you can go and learn it. There's so much training at Accenture as well. They spend a ridiculous amount of money on training, which is really, really good. So there's so many opportunities.
So you're always learning in a sense.
There's too much, really. Yeah, there's too much training.
Okay.
In a sense of there's just so much out there. There's
so
too much to
anything that
pick
you
from.
feel that you want to learn more about, or perhaps that you're not quite skilled in, you have the ability to do so.
And it's all so a lot of the management, senior management, they're always putting it in a certain direction, so pushing in a certain direction. So they know where the trends are going. They know what the clients want, what the companies want. So they can say, look, we need to use this technology. Let's get one in training in here.
Okay, so they already have that leadership and that insight into where you need to be, focusing your efforts in terms of learning. How did you choose where you went to college, to university?
To university?
Yes.
It's a difficult one, that. It was probably partly because of my family and partly because of the course. So I had a brother in Nottingham and a sister in Newcastle, and I'd been to visit them both, and I really liked both of those places. I had family in Newcastle as well. So I ended up choosing Newcastle. And the course, purely because of the modules up there is some AI-based work, so artificial intelligence, and at the time I really, really liked the sound of that, and it was a really good few modules. So yeah, it's more of what interested me.
So what was the larger course that you did?
Computer science.
Computer science.
Yeah, so I specifically chose computer science because it wasn't just specifically one technology in computer science, it was quite a broad set, which really set me up. So I could then say, I like that, I really hate that, I'm not going to go near that again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how prepared did you feel when you first started working professionally? I know you said you did your placement at Accenture and that sort of gave you a lot of insight, and then when you went back to university you really put that into practice in terms of the theory work that you were doing. But when you were a graduate and you first started this position, did you feel as though there was anything that you were missing or that you wish that you'd done a little bit more of?
I don't think so, because with Accenture you don't actually know where you're going to be placed. So it's more of you turn up on day one, you tell people what you want to do, and then you go and find it, you make your own path. So it's really what you want to do, so what you're interested in. So if you're interested in X technology, you go for that, you don't go for something you don't want to do. So, but prepared wise, definitely prepared. I was able to come in quite quickly and know exactly what to do, but that was from the placement. I knew all the systems already, whereas other people who had just started were trying to slowly work out what was happening.
And your role that you do, is it client facing? Do you interact with clients?
So my last project was, my current one kind of is, so my last project was on client side, so I was based in Nottingham. My current project is based out of London, just down the road. But that I have to go to Munich every now and again for that project, which is nice. That's
exciting. Yeah. Do you enjoy the travelling?
Yeah, definitely. It's really, really good. Yeah, and everyone's really, really nice that we work with. Even the client, everyone's got the same end goal, so they're not going to be deliberately mean to you.
Right. And so would you say that you're motivated by working with clients and the differentiation that you get from taking on new projects?
Yeah, definitely. So that's definitely a good motivation point. The fact that everything's so different. There's not one client that's the same as the other. Even within clients, you could be working for one country and another country, and they both want completely different things, different ideas.
Okay. And in terms of the work placement that you did for a year with Accenture, was there any other work experience that you undertook, or any jobs that you say that you definitely pull some skills from that help you?
So on my placement, I was actually placed in 3 different projects, and they were all completely different. So one of them was a business analyst, which was fairly technical, but it was more like the flows of systems and how to upgrade them. Second one was very technical, a bit of programming, and my final one was more project management. So it was looking after resources that we have on the ground, making sure they're okay, and just general project management. So them 3 together was a really good combination of me working out what I wanted to do, and I'm still using the skills that I learned then now.
Okay. And what advice would you give someone who is looking into this industry, and how could they learn a little bit more perhaps about the industry?
So again, I think it's just what you really like. So you should always go down a path that you want to go down. Technology is so wide open. There's so many opportunities. There's so much to learn. Don't try to learn it all. It's going to be impossible to learn it all. Learn something that you're interested in, or something that's new, There's many posts out there or blogs out there where they say this is going to be the new trend for 2017. Try learn that. They're the things that clients want, that companies really want.
So they want people that are innovative and sort of up to date.
And, definitely up to date. Yeah.
So you would say that your best piece of advice would be start with what you're passionate about and work from there.
Yeah, and there's the amount of online tools is ridiculous now. There's so many things that can help you out online. Yeah.
Can you give any examples? I'm on the spot a little bit.
What I usually do is just type into how to do this on Google, and it comes up with blog posts, tutorials, free tutorials. There's paid sites now that you can go on to, which are all very good. But yeah, it's...
So going beyond what you learn in the classroom and at university and really doing your own research.
Yeah, and so it's university kind of just gave me a base of this is kind of how you do something, and then after that I went on and decided I'm going to do it in this technology, this programming language. Okay. Yeah.
And how is programming and technology as it is now, how is it changing, and what do you see the major differences to be within your job?
That's a really difficult one.
I mean, it's very broad. I know that, technology has completely changed from what it was 10 years ago.
So one of the biggest things that's happening right now is automation. Automation is a hugely key point, especially for clients. It completely removes the human error point, and it's usually faster and simpler. So if you can learn how to automate a task that's taking hours and hours and hours, or even a process, if you can learn to automate something like that, everyone's going to want it.
And what are the challenges that come with automation? Because we see all the good side of automation. Obviously, one of the downsides is that it's taking certain jobs, which is inevitable. But what are some of the other more technical challenges around?
So the technical challenges are, can we trust a computer to do something that a human should really do? And that's definitely a big point. And it's more about starting off small, say with a client or with a project, starting off small and saying, look, this is how awesome we can do this process, and then slowly building on it there, not just going in and saying, we're going to remove everyone's jobs, we're going to automate absolutely everything. That never works.
So starting small and gradually making the process more fully automated. Okay. Yeah. What are some of the biggest challenges and biggest enjoyment factors that you currently experience at your job?
Biggest challenges are, I'd say, just keeping up to date. So there's literally so much going on, and that's why I like to move around roles quite a lot and move around projects, just because there's so much going on. Not just to get buried into one project where you're using the same technology for years and years and years. What's the question?
And what do you find most enjoyable about?
What I find most enjoyable? It's definitely how fast-paced it is. It's incredibly fast-paced. There's always something new, you don't get bored. And the community as well is just great. People that I work with are awesome. Yeah. And
so, would you say that your aspirations for working here go for quite some time? Do you have any other aspirations in your career, like somewhere that a department that you specifically want to work in? Or?
So at the moment, I don't think there are. I think the department I'm working in is one of the best departments you can work in at the moment. We've got so many clients. We don't have enough people for the clients. It's awesome. Yeah. I think we are the most cutting edge department, and that's what's great. Yeah.
And what would you say has been your most successful achievement so far working at Accenture?
Not really sure.
And I can give you a couple of seconds to review, because I stumped quite a few people on that question.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, especially without mentioning.
Like without giving a client name, but just a change that you perhaps made, or.
So it's not just me alone, but how our team, we've automated entire environments, technologies, tool sets for a client, which we can rebuild within minutes. So if something catastrophic happens, we can rebuild them very quickly. And if we want to do an upgrade, it's a matter of changing a bit of code rather than going into a server and changing something. And that's absolutely huge.
So I'm sure the way that you build these automated systems, you have to ensure that they're responsive, because if they go down, that whole trust issue and the challenge that you brought up before.
So that's one of the key points of the way we work. So there's a lot of monitoring that goes into it, and I think some of our systems last year had 99.6% availability for the year, and that's because we have high availability. We have 2 of everything essentially. So if one goes down, it's still there.
So building in a contingency plan so a big part of.
We work with configuration management, and that's more of your infrastructure is code. So your infrastructure isn't just a box, it's a bit of code that we can tweak and play around with. And the code is able to make sure that the server's running how it should be all the time. So if someone does go in there and maliciously change something, it'll fix itself. Yeah.
Wow.
And we go by the rule of phoenixing as well. So if we want to upgrade a system, we will tear it down and destroy it and then rebuild it, just to make sure that we can, rather than something going down in a month's time that we don't want to happen and it broke completely.
So you seem very, like, you know, very prepared in terms of
yes, yeah.
making things robust and resilient.
Yes.
Do you have any final advice for our career college students? Obviously, you know, we have students within digital specialisms, within business. What would you perhaps have wished someone had said to you when you were 17, 18?
I'd say just get as much experience as possible in different areas. I was quite lucky that I went into an area that I really, really liked. I know of people who have jumped around areas, but get as much experience as possible and don't keep on doing something that you don't want to do. If you don't like what you're doing, just go somewhere else. You don't want to be stuck in a job or in a role that you absolutely hate for years and years and years. Do something you really enjoy doing, and then you'll be passionate about it, and you'll do really well.
Thank you very much. That was very insightful. I must admit that when I saw your job title, I had no idea what that meant, which I'm sure is the case for a few people.
And for me.
But it's nice to actually, you know, understand what that means, and I'm hoping that students will feel the same way.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's nice
Cheers.
to meet you.
Thank you.